Hello, hello, hello. Let me make sure you guys can hear me okay. Just drop one in the chat box if you guys can hear me. We'll do a Q&A session. So if you have any questions in regards to e-commerce, Facebook ads, anything business-wise, personal-wise, just shoot me a question. Haven't done one of these in some time, so it'd be awesome to catch up and see what you guys up to. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Put one in the chat box if you can hear me okay. I just want to make sure that the sound is working well. Put one in the chat box. Instagram. Can you hear me okay? I want to make sure you can hear me okay. Drop the questions. Drop the questions here. Drop the questions. All right, cool. Cool. All right, we have a question here. What is the best product research method? So how to test multiple products in one store, but not seem like general store? It's a great question. You can do that with landing pages if you want to kind of like keep everything separate. So what you would do is you basically would have different landing pages for different products. And then pretty much those would not be visible on the website. The products won't be visible on the website. You can create landing pages using gem pages, using Pagefly, using Zipify landing pages. Raplo is a very good landing page builder. So that's what I would do. Landing pages, 5 reasons why, 9 reasons why. That format is working very well. Again, Raplo is very good landing page builder that I would recommend. They literally give you all of the templates for all of the products that from like basically best performing landing pages that you can do. And so just replicate it for yourself. All right. Do another one. Give me a winning product, Alex, and run it to the end. Right now, like I believe we're like not in the stage of like winning products. We're in the stage of winning creatives. Whereas you can literally sell the same product as another person, and another person would be struggling to sell it, but you can sell that same product but with a better creative, and you could win. So that's basically what I would do. Like I would just focus on the products that have been validated over time. I mean, I can give you like poor vacuum cleaner, right? Like that product has been around for so long, and still there's some people that absolutely destroying it with that product until today. Why? Because they're creating better ads. So what I would focus on is not to how to find like winning product that no one was selling, like very fucking unique. What I would focus on is how do you create better creative than other people selling that same product. And you would see the best brands that are performing very well. Like it's not that, they have like some kind of unique product that no one has, right? Sometimes, there's like with supplements and those kind of categories, you can create like unique formula, and you can create like something that other people don't have. But at the same time, you can have the same product, but just advertise it better. So that's what I would focus on. I would basically spy on the best performing ads from other people. I would spy on the best people that are selling the same product, and I would learn from them. I would learn from people like in our company, like in our team is learning from every niche. Like we're not just learning from our niche, who's advertising the best for our niche, but we're learning from other people. Like let's say if we're selling beauty product, we're learning from pain relief niche. We're learning from Pat's niche. We're learning what formats they use, what kind of creators they use, how they're structuring their ads, how long their ads are. Once you master that, like, you can pretty much sell anything. That's a true art that I would recommend you focus on mastering instead of just focusing on finding some kind of like loophole product that no one has. So we're selling very competitive products in very competitive markets, and we're doing very well. So that's the most important thing that I would focus on. All right, so would love to know if you guys are seeing any decline in Facebook ads. A lot of our ads and landing pages were working perfectly up until February 18, but after that, performance has gone to shit. So, yeah, great question here. We've had tremendous year so far. So I would recommend to look into how many creatives you're testing, whether you're innovating a lot on the creative side. Again, that's what I would focus on. I would put all of the attention that you have on the creative, bring in the best people you can on your team. You can work with agencies as well, but making sure that creative game is on point. We're testing at least 30, 50 creatives per week. So that's just the benchmark. And if you look at some of the most successful brands, how many active ads they have hundreds, sometimes even thousands of active ads, right? So which means they are constantly innovating, constantly bringing something new to the table. And that's what I would focus on. Hey Alex, how are you, bro? What do you think about the future of dropshipping in USA and other markets in the world? By the way, guys, just comment creative below. I have some awesome resources. I have some SOPs I can send your way so that you can ramp up your creative game. Just comment creative below, or if you're on Instagram, just DM me creative, and I will share that with you. What do you think about the future of dropshipping in USA and other markets in the world? People are always buying products, right? The human nature is people like to buy stuff, right? And the only thing that will be different, right? It's low barrier of entry, so people are coming in. And so what you have to do is you have to learn how to differentiate from other people. People are still buying products. If you think bigger picture, kind of disattach, all of the opinions of people, right? Then you will realize that e-commerce as a whole is growing, which means more and more people spending money online in the United States, Europe, Asia, South America, everywhere. People are buying stuff online. And what you just have to do is understand the competitive environment, understand what products people are buying, kind of that stuff, changes over time, and also how those products are being sold, which comes back to the previous point, which is creative. And so once you dial those things in, I mean, that's literally all you need to do to crack it. No matter what market, if market changes, if something changes in the current environment, new products will be appearing all the time. That's just part of the game. But what I would focus on is really how do you sell the product in a particular market and how do you become competitive? Now, if you're selling in European markets, for instance, the barrier is lower than, let's say, in the United States. So what you can do is you can bring products that have done well in the US market, basically translate all of the ads to German, right, or whatever language you're selling. If you're selling in the Dutch market, Swedish market, whichever market you're selling in, and you can do very well with those. And so that's what I would do. I would just observe the competitive environment, right? Again, realize that the market is huge. People are spending billions of dollars online. This is it. You just need to grab small portion of that market. Just understand the competitive environment you're in, and you'll do very well. How did you overcome cash flow problems with PayPal holdings and so on? Is a credit card a good idea? Great question. PayPal, here's the thing about PayPal. We had one of our accounts recently, it had a limit, right? How many transactions we can process per month. It was about, I think $100,000, something like that. But what we've been doing is we've been hammering them every single day. Every single day, if you have restrictions on PayPal, maybe you have some reserves and stuff like that, just hammer them every day. And so what will happen is once upon a time, you will connect with a person that actually makes sense and can listen to your concerns and can give you some reasonable, can raise it to the department that can actually help you, but you have to hammer them every day. What happens with most people is that they hit with some PayPal restrictions or other problems, is that they're like, okay, it is what it is. Like, it's probably, if they give you like $100,000 per month and the rest goes into reserve, then they're just giving up on that. So what I would recommend is just keep hammering them. Also, there are alternative ways to set up PayPal accounts. So if you can DM me on Instagram, there's some people that setting up Hong Kong accounts and stuff like that have less issues. And so that's what I would recommend. But just keep hammering them. Just keep hammering them. Connect with some lawyers that also can hammer them from their side if you have some reserves or holds. That should get you. Pax Amtor, right? So just DM me on Instagram, Pax, and I'll see how we can help you there. Credit card is definitely, I mean, you need credit cards to process payments. Now, PayPal in Germany, from my knowledge, is like 50-70% of sales. So you definitely want to have PayPal in Germany if you're selling in German market. What a person doing 50 to 100K per month who wants to scale should do regarding payment processing. So 50 to 100K a month, it's a pretty low volume. But what I would do is I would start leveraging that processing statements that you have, right? So when diversifying payment processing, you want to leverage your best months, right? Like, let's say you have like 3 months of good processing, low chargeback ratios. You would want to leverage those in order to get other payment processors. There's checkout.com. That is a very solid option. There's also Reach. There is, many of them that are connecting through NMI and Authorized Net. So there is plenty of payment processing. Once you're like in the right communities, like if I don't know if you're in our community, Antonio, like, but if you're in the right communities, like literally, that's like 2 introductions away. You're like 2 introductions away from like kind of like diversifying your payment infrastructure. But overall, 50 to 100K per month, you can do very well, like even with Shopify payments, as long as your dispute rates are under control. That's the most important things. Keep it under 1%. Ideally, with Stripe, people start getting in trouble after 0.7. So try to keep it like 0.5 or lower. So that's the most important thing. We use dispute mitigation like softwares to lower that, like Charge Blast is a pretty good one. So use some options pretty much to mitigate chargebacks. If you are maintaining your chargebacks under control, then you should have no issues whatsoever. All right. You mentioned one of your videos that you have sold a lot of products and haven't touched them. How did you know the quality of products and feel it was something you can trust? Suppliers, like working with good suppliers, like we would literally, the products that I haven't, I mean, these days I'm touching everything I'm selling. Like these days I'm very like big on like quality assurance, making sure the product we sell is good quality, how is unboxing experience for a customer. When I was doing that, without touching products, I would make sure that our supplier touched them. So our supplier in China, we still work with them, very good one, where they would verify the quality of the product. They would make sure the product is a great quality. They would send us pictures. They would send us videos of the product, how it works, how it feels. And then, based on the initial data, if we had any feedback to them, okay, so the quality of the product is poor, or if we had any issues whatsoever, we would communicate it back to them. They would go and search for other alternative options to source the product to make sure that the product quality is on point. Numbers will tell you the story. Like if your return rates are like 10%, obviously you have a problem with your product. But if you work with a good supplier that actually ships your product on time, and verifies the quality before you ship the product, then you're like 90% good. Ideal case scenario is obviously to ship the product to yourself, make sure the product is good, the quality is good, and that's a good starting point there. All right, fashion or health and beauty? I like health and beauty. Fashion is more moving parts. Like fashion's like, We bought like one apparel brand, but it's just like a lot of work. Like there's always new designs, there's always new collections. The returns are pretty high for fashion because of the sizes. People don't like it and stuff like that. So fashion is not my favorite niche. I know some people that are doing very well in fashion, but it's personally, I love health and beauty. I love when we can sell products using direct response, when we can use via sales advertorials. Like for me, that's the best niche you can imagine, because there's always like so many different angles to sell product. There's always like new chance in that industry that you can jump on and leverage. And for me personally, health and beauty like is the best niche. Is 4 or 5 review Scientology USA? It's a great name for the channel. Is 4 or 5K US dollars enough to start an e-commerce business? It is good starting point for sure. You can start e-commerce business if you do like everything organically. You can start it for like $100, right? Like get trials everywhere, start creating content on TikTok. It would take time to get traction though. Just accept that. With $4 or $5,000, you have some money to invest into advertising. You can also outsource certain things. I wouldn't outsource much. Like I would try to understand as much as I can about every moving part of the process, whether it comes to like creating landing pages, ads. Just understand what makes like a good ad and bad ad, what makes a good landing page and what makes a bad landing page. And by the way, guys, just DM or comment better DM me on Instagram, or if you're here, like comment landing page. Like I have some resources and videos on creating landing pages, some good swipe files I can share with you. Just comment landing page, or if you're on Instagram, just DM me a landing page, and I'll send you some good resources there. But yeah, 4 or 5K is definitely good starting point. I've been doing products research recently. I have found some products, some is being run by 3-4 competitors, and others being run by 8-10 stores on Facebook. How much competition is good to go? How much competition is good to go? Like, I mean, if your model is just like churn and burn, like drop like one niche and one product, move to another one, probably I would go with ones with like less competition. But then again, it comes down to the quality of your ad, right? If let's say you're creating these like ugly dropshipping ads and you're like creeping other people's ads, then it doesn't matter how many competitors are there. Like I would not think about competitors. I would think about the consumer. Like when consumer sees your ad, like does it seem like genuine? Like does it seem like a real ad, or does it seem like scraped from someone else and like watermark is like blurred? So I would focus on the market, like in general, how big is the market? More competitive. I mean, if you think about it, right? Biggest markets where there is like many companies that are doing 100 million, 500 million, 1 billion. Like these are very competitive markets. How many people are selling supplements? Like how many people are selling greens? How many people are selling devices for weight loss? Like these are very competitive markets with more than 10 competitors, and still there's space for some new players that can innovate and bring some new ads and advertise creatively for them to succeed. Mohammed just shared, I'm a BBA student and currently having 2K per day. Thanks for sharing with us useful information. Thank you, my man. Thank you, Mohammed. So great to hear this. If you guys need help with growing your e-commerce business, we have a program called Brand Builders Academy. It's not for everyone. It's like something that only for people that's ready to commit, like Mohammed here. So if you need help with that, if you want to see if it's a good fit for you, just DM me BBA. All right. Do you have any experience with Funnelage? Is it better than Shopify? It's better in some ways, whereas like you can customize your checkout completely. You can have order bumps that can increase your average order value. You can have pre-sale pages. You can have post-purchase upsells that are customized, like upsells, downsells. You can have more of them than on Shopify. So in that way, it's pretty good option compared to Shopify. But Shopify is great because it's reliable. Shopify is phenomenal. If you can figure out like conversion, if it converts for you, but I mean, ideally you'd have both. You'd have lenders and then you'd have Shopify, right? So you have some kind of like, like home for all of your products where people can buy them, but also you'd have separate landing pages, let's say Funnelish or checkout shampoo or something like that, that is something you can work with. So Antonio, my dispute rate is 0.48%. I'm in BBA. Awesome, man. So yeah, if you need to diversify your payment processing, just hit our team, hit me up directly. I'll introduce you to some good people that you can leverage your statements. Let's say if 3 months in a row you've been doing like 100K per month in sales, your dispute rate was low, like you said, 0.48. You can take those statements and apply for another payment processing. Based on that information, they'll give you like another $100,000 in processing. So now you have 2 payment processors. Each can process, let's say, 100K per month. Now you can process up to $200,000 per month. And so that's something that is that I would do. What are the top 3 habits you will always maintain regarding e-com? Number 1, coming into saturated markets, like proven markets. I don't want to be like, pioneer, like, with arrows in my back. I've tried that in the past, kind of like we tried bringing some innovative products to the market, and it was a disaster. Like, so I want to go after proven markets. Now, I can bring to the market some product that's slightly different from other products, but I want to go into markets that have been proven and massive markets, like, weight loss, health, like beauty. Like, those are big, massive markets. Pets, kids, right? Those are big markets where if you even like 1% of that whole market, it's like I prioritize. What software you use to build landing pages on Shopify? Do you use Shopify? We use Shopify. Shopify is pretty good. It's a reliable platform. It's a great platform for anyone to start with e-commerce. There's some 9-figure brands on Shopify, so it's very reliable. I use Raplo, Pagefly, Jump Pages. There's also Zipify landing pages. I'm personally not a big fan of it, but I know some people that are doing very well with it. So Raplo, Jump Pages, Pagefly. I would stick with these 3. What are the best markets to go from 0 to 5K per day now? 5K per day you can do in any market. And Robert, he seemed like Romanian last name. I know some people in Romania that are doing bigger numbers than that, doing 20 and 30K per day in Romanian market. It's I believe it's cash on delivery though, but like you can definitely do those numbers even in Romania, Eastern Europe, any market. Like if you think about it, like $5,000, if you're selling a product that's like, let's say even $25, which I would not recommend, that's only like 200 orders per day. So out of the population of a few million, you only need 200 people to buy your product on a daily basis, which is very low. What tools are best for spying the competitor creatives across all social medias? I would not focus on all social medias. Like I would just focus on like one channel, like dial one channel really well, and then diversify. Sunshine forever, that's for you. I would just focus on the Facebook, for instance. If you're on Facebook, just dial that platform in, like get it to like at least like 1 million, a few million a month, and then you can diversify. Don't try to go like all over the place and try to figure out all of the platforms, all of the creatives, because different platforms have different creative formats, right? And how they're structured and stuff like that. What would sell the product on Facebook is not necessarily what would sell the product on TikTok or on YouTube, right? So just focus on one platform. If Facebook is the main, just dial that stuff in, like master it, like absolutely master it, and then move on to other platforms. And for that, I mean, we use a tool called Get Hooked AI. I mean, this one is my favorite. So that's what I would recommend. What tools? Okay, so what's the biggest paradigm shift about e-commerce that had the most benefit for you? For me, it was don't sell the product, sell the benefit. For me, the biggest paradigm shift was like don't focus on the product, focus on the creative. That's it. Like it's like product is the same. Product is a commodity. Like unless some super unique product that no one has seen before, like I mean, creative, like how do you sell? How do you position the product, right? Like, and so that's how you differentiate in competitive markets. And again, we'll only go after competitive markets because that's where the demand is. And so for me, it's don't sell the product, sell the creative, right? So that's my rule, the biggest paradigm shift that I had. All right, so you see here, if you're doing advertorial, what sort of creatives would you make? If you're making video creative, how would you structure it? Would it be 4-minute explainer video? If you're doing advertorial, what sort of creatives? I mean, with advertorials, you can do very well even with images. If your advertorial is good and has a lot of selling power, you can do image to the advertorial. You can also do VSL to the advertorial. But advertorial, because it has a lot of selling power, you can even test images. I would definitely test images and see how it converts. If not, I would definitely do like, 1 to 5 minutes. 1 to 5 minutes, good range. Sometimes, depending on the complexity of the product, you can sell it with 1-minute video. Sometimes you need to do more explanation, more storytelling, more explanation of the unique mechanism, and that can take that video from like 3 to 5 minutes. How is tracking for Facebook? Is it stable enough? Tracking for Facebook is stable enough. I mean, we're using external tools. We're also using Cappy, like Conversion API. It's pretty stable, pretty good. We're using Run Converge is a tool that we're using for tracking. There's obviously Triple Whale as well, which is also pretty good, and Nordbeam. So please talk about good suppliers. I mean, I cannot paste it here, so just DM me on Instagram. DM me on Instagram. DM me on Instagram about the suppliers, and I'll send you the list. I'll send you the list of good suppliers that you could use. How to find good suppliers. Yes, please DM me on Instagram. How to improve your product from the manufacturer as it's your winner product and current quality is bad. Cool. That's a good problem to have. So what you would do there is you'll just reach out to your supplier and you would just say, okay, I want this product, but I want it in a better quality. And then you want them to send you the samples, right? Or at least for them to receive the samples. The key here is to work with the right supplier, because if there's a right supplier, they'll check the quality, they'll make sure it's on point, because they'll know that if the product is good and you'll be selling it successfully, you'll be placing a lot of orders with them, right? So they're directly incentivized. But it's tricky to find a good supplier. So that's why, like, I would just send you my suppliers. Like, just DM me on Instagram, suppliers. DM me suppliers on Instagram. DM me directly, and I will send you some good suppliers. How do we start a supplement e-com brand with different flavors? Review Scientology USA. With different flavors, I mean, you can do private label. There's some supplements that have already. There's Supplyful, pretty good solution for selling products that already exist. You just put your logo on them, and you can start selling them. So there's private label manufacturing, and also there is custom formulations, right? So where, okay, I want you to put, like, I don't know, vitamin C, vitamin E, vitamin D. I want you to put some, I don't know, some black pepper in it. I want to put you some, whatever ingredients you want to put. They'll customize the formulation for you. That will cost you probably like a few $1,000s to custom formulate, but that will be a unique product to you. And they'll send you the flavors. They'll send you the samples so you can try the product. You can see if you like it. And then if you like it, they'll move into mass manufacturing process. The one thing with that, though, is just prepare that, their minimum order quantities usually would be like a few thousand units, sometimes 10,000 units, sometimes 20,000 units, depending on the factory, which means, let's say, if your product is like $5 per unit or $3 per unit, 10,000 units, like $30,000. So the investment with starting a supplement brand is usually a bit higher than like just selling gadgets that are available from China. So Alex Krutev. Hi, Alex, it's Alex. How do you think? What are the good analogs for Shopify for non-US sellers? I mean, WooCommerce is a good one, right? Just requires a bit more customization. You need to know how to customize it, and there's basically more work. Shopify is so drag and drop and so intuitive and so easy to use WooCommerce is not like that. You'll need some probably developer help, but that's a great option. You can customize landing pages. You can connect your payment processors. You can also have some post-purchase upsells. So WooCommerce is a great option. There's also BigCommerce. I think one of the biggest Shopify competitors called BigCommerce, so look into that as well. So these two I would check out. Have you tried advertorials in European markets? So for us, the biggest focus is like US market, Big Four, the Australia, UK. That's the biggest market for us. We don't focus much on the European markets, but I know a lot of people in our program ESS are absolutely destroying it in European markets, doing millions of dollars per month. So it's definitely working those markets. VSLs, advertorials, like I think Europe is like few years behind United States in terms of the sophistication of the market. So you can literally take what's working in the US, bring it to Europe, and just absolutely destroy it, print it. So how to prevent payment processor holes when started selling. I'm from outside the US, but have UOC. Which merchant do you use? I mean, you can use Stripe, like initially Stripe, Shopify payments to start with. Just don't scale too fast. The problem people have is like, oh, product is selling. They start like ramping it up. They go from zero to like $10,000 per day, like in 3 days. Obviously, Stripe and Shopify payments will be like, whoa, what is this? Who is this merchant? Is they are they even shipping those products, or are these like no shippers, non-shippers? And so that's something that you'd want to make sure that you don't scale too fast, especially with new payment processing. Is Pinterest better for female product marketing? I do believe so. There's mostly females, and mostly even like females that are kind of like in a category that control a lot of household spend, right? So you have the basically the wives and girlfriends that control like the wallets of their men, right? So you have a lot of that audience on Pinterest. The issue with Pinterest is their advertising platform is not that sophisticated as Facebook, is not as precise as Facebook, and that's something that you just have to keep in mind. But in terms of driving traffic organically, like it's something that you can definitely use. Alberto Gutierrez, yo, Alex, can you respond to my question so I know it's real? Yeah, that's your question. That's my answer. All right. So good suppliers. Yeah, please DM me. Right. If you're doing advertorial, what sort of creatives would you make? If we are making video creative, how would you structure it? Will be 4-minute explainer video. Okay, I think I answered this one. So this is awesome. Raul, if you bought the store from us, please check your spam, or if it landed somewhere. If not, just please email our team. I'll drop the email here at support@ecommerce scaling secrets, so that we can see how we can help you. Stores are definitely delivered within 24 hours. We have a very high standard on that. So if you have any questions, just drop it to our support team at support@ecommerce scaling secrets. So we'll make sure that you got the store that you ordered. All of these resources, guys, please just DM me. Please DM me so that we will make sure that you get those resources. What do you do when ads die down, and if you duplicate it and start again, it's fine? How do you stop that? Or, I mean, don't stop that. If it's working, just maximize it. Make sure that you're completely maximizing it, and that's what I would recommend. Every ad account is different. So, for example, for some ad accounts, we're like basically, just removing stopping all of the ads for the night, and then in the morning we're like reactivating all of them, right? So that period of time at night and this is not best practice. People say, oh, don't do this, Facebook is learning. That's bullshit, right? Like Facebook is either hitting the right segment of the audience or it's not. And throughout the night, you usually would see your performance drops. And so that's what I would recommend. Just find what's working for you. If something works, just double down on that and do it every day. I spend weeks learning advertorials, and our MBC mattered, but lately Stefan Georgi just posted a video on how AI can make advertorial in 10 minutes. Did I waste time? You didn't waste time. Like, AI still need to be trained. Like, AI is not some kind of like magic kind of thing that will like, I mean, someone still need to verify if advertorial is good, right? Like, someone still need to make tweaks to it, because AI only has so much context, and you as a human, you've done your research, you've done, kind of like, you understand the customer, understand the language that they're speaking. And so oftentimes the AI will give you like advertorial maybe at like 80% or so, and then you just polish it and get it to 100. So you definitely didn't waste time. I would recommend you just use a skill that you've learned, and then use AI to help you create more output. Just create more advertorials using AI, and then polish them manually. Do you test with existing creatives when testing and proven product saturated, or do you make a new one from the start with UGC and all? I mean, we use a combination of stock content and also content from like UGC creators. So we have at this point like a good library of like UGC creators that we're just like, hey, here's a new product. We need some content for it. Here is all of the instructions to create content like B-roll and stuff like that we can use for the ads. And so we try to do it with some fresh content. All right, so you teach mass testing products to find multiple winners. Do you focus more on branding and few products? I prefer few products. I personally prefer like doing more research on a particular product, knowing for sure that that product has product market fit and being sold successfully by other people in proven categories, and then focusing most of your effort on the creative and making sure that you can sell that product successfully. All right, so let me see here. How do you prevent? Okay, so this one I answered. Let me see here. I'm testing for new product. I'm testing ads for new product. I have 333. I don't know what that means. If you can please elaborate. Someone from Twitter. How do we find a winning products? I've watched your videos, but all products found on Mania and TikTok are too obvious to be dropshipping products. Do we still try those products? Yeah. Yeah, I would highly recommend, like, again, make sure that there is a proven demand, make sure that there is like a lot of awareness about the niche that you're going after. And as long as that's the case, I would definitely go after those products. Like, we literally follow the same logic. We go into categories and the niches that have proven validated demand. Now we can customize the product sometimes. Like, let's say we have like a different color of the product. We have like maybe it has like some features that other products do not. But if you think about it, like, every successful product is saturated. Every like niche is saturated. Like, if you're looking from that perspective, it's like people say like, oh, people are not buying stuff, or people are not buying stuff, people are not buying stuff. Of course, like, that will be self-fulfilling prophecy. And so for me, I try to think in categories. Okay, what data says? And data says that fucking e-commerce is $1 trillion industry, like, and it's growing year over year. Like, okay, all right, so that makes sense. Let me get a part of that $1 trillion. So that's my thought process. And the same with products. Like, someone was selling them, great. There's validated demand, right? Like, okay, how can I advertise this product in a more unique way? Or maybe I can source from my supplier the same product, but maybe it differentiates slightly visually, or it has different features, has a slight kind of differences, but it's still a validated category. Then I check on Google Trends whether it's not seasonal. People jumping on these products that are like Valentine's Day focused, or like Mother's Day, Father's Day. It's like very occasional. I don't like seasonality. I like something that I can sell all year round, because we have a team, right? We have to we have to pay, salaries and stuff like that to make sure that everyone on the team is happy. And so we want to make sure that we don't have seasonality. So seasonality is another big factor. You can check Google Trends, whether the product you want to sell has like a big fluctuation. That's what I would recommend. What are your thoughts on Shopify versus Amazon FBA? As I understand, Amazon is more about analytics and competition. Shopify is more about creativity and doesn't need a lot of money for inventory. I like Shopify, and then Amazon is kind of like natural step. As you're advertising a lot for your Shopify, direct response, let's say, or you're advertising a lot on TikTok, then a lot of those people by default will go on Amazon and will search for your brand name. And so that's something that you can leverage at that point of time. And also by that time, you'll have some capital to invest in inventory and ship it to Amazon. So I would definitely start with Shopify and add Amazon later on. Unless you have, $50,000-$100,000 that you can just buy a lot of inventory shipped to Amazon. But even then, it's not guaranteed that that inventory will sell, because you'll be on the bottom of all of the sellers. And so you'll still need external source of traffic to go to Amazon. The most successful people that are selling on Amazon right now, they have external source of traffic. They're either using TikTok, they have hundreds of different pages promoting their products, so that creating a lot of awareness about their brand, or they're using Facebook, or they're using some other traffic sources that bringing people to Amazon. So, okay, here is your text with the corrections. I'm a 22-year-old and I work in a factory right now. What is a mistake you made? What is a mistake you made when you work in 9 to 5 and wanted to get in e-commerce full time? What is a mistake I made? I mean, mistakes. I think the biggest, the biggest mistake probably just like trying to figure it out all by myself and do everything by myself. Part of that was because I didn't have like a lot of capital. And so I had to do what I had to do. Like I had to, build pages and ads and stuff like that myself. I think that's the biggest like shortcut. I mean, if you think about all of the successful businesses, they all have good people. Like basically, business is a combination of good people, and so the earlier you can find those people, the faster you'll progress, because there is only so much you can do by yourself. And so that's probably my biggest one, that I was trying to do too much by myself. I didn't get help. I didn't invest in mentorships and getting some help like early enough. Like I did it like once I started, seeing some progress. But I think I would have had like progress much faster if I would have learned from someone who's actually done it. So that's just my reflection. Glitching AI, do you recommend me to start a beginner start with? I don't know what that is. I don't know what's that, glitching. I had a limiting belief of 10K. I tested countless funnels. I had a limiting belief of 10K. I tested countless funnels and platforms couldn't break through. How do you deal with limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs is something that, unfortunately, it's not something that you deal with like instantaneously, or you get rid of them instantaneously. It's constant work, and you just have to kind of like build your confidence. I think limiting beliefs are changing when you first like putting yourself in the right environment. Let's say if you want to be entrepreneur, but no one around you is an entrepreneur, and you have those limiting beliefs that maybe business is not for me, right? Like, but that's only based because of your environment. It's like, who the fuck said that, right? It's just like, yeah, people say that, yeah, business is risky. Business is risky. Business is risky. And that's like repeated 100 times over like 10, 20, 30 years. Now you fucking believe that business is risky. But what's more risky? People go to universities in the United States, like, for example, they're spending $100, $200, $300,000 on the education, and they get out of the university and they're getting a job for like $40,000 a year. Where's the fucking logic? Like, so that is risky for me. That's more risky than like starting a business, because if you do well in business, now obviously there's risk, there's financial risk, there's time risk, like, there's many of those things. But if you can figure it out, I mean, you can set yourself for a life in like 5, 10, 15 years. And for me, that's less risk. So the biggest thing with limiting beliefs is surround yourself with people that don't have those limiting beliefs. Simple as that. And then if you trust those people and you're comfortable with them, you're like, okay, that makes sense. And then you see that like everything those people do is against the beliefs that you had, and now those beliefs are not limiting anymore, right? Because you have new beliefs. So that's what I would recommend. Communities like masterminds, get in the environment where people are like-minded and people are like where you want to be. And so that's a biggest shortcut in my experience. How do you usually differentiate with competitors having the same product? Yeah, as I mentioned, creative, like we just focus on new angles, new hooks, like how we can present the product in a different way, how we can tell about their story. That's how we're differentiating from people selling the same product. Thank you, Faisal. Where to look if you want to learn the ins and outs of Facebook ads? I mean, you can learn in our communities, Brand Builders Academy, to help you get to 1,000 hours a day. Then ESS is for people that already doing some volume, at least like 30, 50K per month, want to scale it to hundreds of thousands or millions per month. Many people like on Twitter, many people like YouTube. I won't call the names, but I mean, they've been through our community. So and so that's what I would recommend. But then just practice too, like, and observing, analyzing the data. It's important. There's like, it's kind of, the process is like this, right? You learn something, right, from ideally from people who are doing what you want to do, right? You're bringing it to practice. You're practicing it. You're learning something from that experiment, and then you applying it, and you continue taking your information, testing it. Some of that works, some of that doesn't, right, in your specific context. And you continuously kind of like go this cycle where you never stop learning, because like everything changes. But the more you can learn from outside sources, the less mistakes you'll make. It's just natural, right? Like, because if someone says like, okay, don't do this because like if someone tells you, okay, so don't go into that forest because there is a fucking bear, right? And you're like, fuck, I mean, maybe I should try it. Like, what the fuck this guy knows, right? Like, and you go to the forest and there's a bear, and that's it, game over. And so don't go to the forest. Like, if someone tells you, like, and maybe that's a person with a fucking scar on their face from the fucking bear. So that's like ideally you learn from other people's mistakes. You obviously learn from yours. That's very, very good teacher. I mean, your own mistakes, but they cause a lot of pain. So the more you can learn from others, the less costly, like time, money, like energy wise, your own mistakes will be. So that's why I recommend, joining communities, joining like masterminds, like learning from people that are like-minded, people that are going through the same challenges, and also people that are a few steps ahead of you. So then like, oh, okay, let's say, you start scaling up your e-commerce business, and, like someone tells you, okay, don't scale too fast, right? Or create like few other payment processors, right? Create some infrastructure, or have some backup, ad accounts, or, whatever that is. And if you follow through, then you will be able to, avoid some of these mistakes, right? And so that's what I would recommend. So on Facebook, what metrics you're looking for a good winner? Few layers of metrics. Number one is obviously your ROAS, like your ROAS, like how much you spend, how much you generated. But then you're taking a few steps back, and then you're looking, let's say your ROAS is bad, but then you're looking, okay, how many people added to cart? Okay, so let's say out of every 100 clicks, only like 3 people added to cart. Okay, so now you know your problem. Your problem is probably somewhere on the website or the product page, right? You have to fix it. Maybe you have to give more guarantees. Maybe you have to make better images. Maybe you have to make better description of your products and sell your product harder. Maybe you have to do some before and afters, or add some gifts, or whatever you have to do in order to make your add to cart ratio higher. Let's say your add to cart ratio is good, then I mean, I'm aiming for like 10%. That's my benchmark. Let's say if you have 100 clicks to the website, 10 of them would be add to carts. So that's my personal metric, depending on the product. And that's what I would recommend. And then like you're looking on the ad sides, right? So few layers of metrics, like ROAS, right? Like kind of directly how much money you generated. Then add to carts, like what is behavior on the website? Are people adding product to the cart? Are they initiating checkout? You know, where's the drop off there? By the way, I have this like KPI sheet. Just DM me KPI or comment KPI here so that I can share it with you. And so that's when I'll share all these metrics that you can use as a kind of like as an inspiration. And so that's what I would recommend. Then you have the metrics on ads, right? And with metrics on ads, you have the hook rate and you have the hold rate. So hook rate is out of, let's say, 100 people that have seen your ad, how many of them stop scrolling to see the first 3 seconds of your video? And then the hold rate, how many of those people have hold until, I believe, like 50 or 75% of your video, right? So you actually stop them from scrolling and you're getting them to watch your video. Okay, now you know that you have something interesting. And so that's what I would, these are the metrics on the ad side that I would look into. Let me answer some. How can I find winning products? I mean, yeah, there's so many different ways. Just DM me products. DM me products. I'll send you some tutorials, some SOPs on that, some template. We have this phenomenal template for kind of like rating the products that you found, and so that's what I would use. It's possible have e-commerce there in USA with no social security numbers. We have a lot of clients in the SS that are using the like basically they're like based outside of the United States, but they're still selling in the United States, and so that's something that you can still do. Like you can still sell in the US market. You will need like EIN, like employer identification number, which you can do with the basically by registering LLC. DM me LLC. Like I have some resources on that as well. I have some good contacts for registering like LLC. I share some good stuff with you guys. So where do you find video editors? Video editors, Upwork, LinkedIn ads. We run LinkedIn ads. So we're getting a lot of like, I mean, finding video editors, like pretty much finding any other role, like in your business, there needs to be like few stages in the process. So let's say if we're running LinkedIn ads, so we're running LinkedIn ads. From LinkedIn ads, people filling out like a short application, or people, sending us like a Loom video, or they're sending us, some examples of their work. And if you ask people for these like very small commitments, very small percentage of them, maybe like 20-30% of them will actually send. So let's say you have 100 candidates. Now you have shortlisted that list to like 20-30 people. Now from 20-30 people, you give them another task, right? Like, hey, here is example of the video. Here is, basically what we are selling. Show me like how you can edit that video. And they're editing that video. You can pay them for this task as well, like kind of like a paid trial task. You give them like specific deadline by which they have to deliver that. And then what you can do with video editors, you can basically take all of those ads for your product and put them on your ad account, right? And just see which ones of those ads is actually converting. So let's say one of those is converting. Like now you can reach out to the person. Okay, I wanna order like, let's say 5 or 10 ads from you, basically pay them for this task, right? Just do another layer of validation that that person is actually that person is actually good at what they do. Maybe it was just a fluke, one of their ads performed, and so that's what I would recommend. When you sold your first store for $1 million, to say in your store video, you actually had $1 million in my bank account. Yeah, it's it's kind of, it felt good for like, I don't know, one day, and then you're just getting used to it. So yeah, that's nothing. There's nothing special. Once you've done that, there's nothing special about it anymore, right? It's like it feels good, and there's like all of these like kind of illusions that we have about like having money, like, but it's all perception. And then as you associate yourself with people that are higher level than you realize that it's very small numbers. So that's what happened to me. So I never like really enjoyed that first moment. I bought myself like, when I had this good initial like success, the only thing I bought for myself, I didn't buy Lamborghinis or anything like that. I bought myself like Louis Vuitton sunglasses, like for like $600. That was it. I still have those sunglasses, by the way. Very good quality. So, all right. So those products repetitively shown on TikTok usually will only last for a year or two, like a trend, right? Then how we can build a brand instead of the store that only opens for a year or two? Good question. Nobody. It's the name. Nobody. So yeah, like how we can build a brand. Like, so the way you build a brand is like, if you think about any brands, right? Like most of them, they have multiple products. So what you can do is whatever product you're selling, if you're having initial success, think about what other products that are complementary to that one that you can sell. Now, there are certain like gadgets, for instance, there's some products that are just like sexy, right? And they only work for a specific amount of time. I usually try not to sell those products because they come and go. If I'm getting into the business, if I'm spending my time, I want to start building on something that would have like long-term potential. Now, when I was starting out, it wasn't my priority. I would sell any product that would sell. But like as you do this, even if you do like 1 or 2 like years of a good run and like you make like few $100,000, like now you can go ahead and like, let's say, start a supplement brand. You can create some custom product or customize a product that's already working in the market, just make it better. You can test some other products, right? So whatever success you're having, if you're having success, I mean, just leverage it, extract capital from it, and then reinvest it in something long term. But some categories, let's say you test the product and it works well, and let's say you're in a big category, like you're in a health, beauty, those categories that have like a lot of demand, like long term, then just look for other products that people are buying. One of the ways to do that is just go on Amazon, add product to the cart that you're selling. Most likely it's on Amazon, and then see frequently bought together. See what other products or other customers also bought. Right. So there's a on the bottom there's a small kind of box, and so see what other products are being sold in that category. And so that's how you find good ideas for the next products you can introduce. Do you do these lives every week? No, but I will do, like, I think from next week, I'll try to do it every week on Thursdays at 11 a.m. 11 a.m. Eastern. I'll try to do these calls every week for you guys to answer questions and stuff like that. What's the advantages of PayPal in Hong Kong? I mean, I have not personally used that, but I've heard from some people that use those PayPal accounts in Hong Kong. And so that's something that you can leverage. I mean, they have less holds. You supposedly get like account managers and stuff like that. So that's the advantage of those PayPal accounts. That's something. If you want like introduction, just DM me on Instagram, and I'll send you connection to people that are actually using those. All right. So cool. Let me answer like another one, and then we will wrap it up. All right. I love you, man. I cannot wait to start with you. Awesome. Cool. I don't have no. Sorry, I don't have. I don't have a Discord. I don't have a Discord. We do like all of our communities. So we have Brand Builders Academy, our community for people that want to get to 1K a day, get that initial momentum. You know, some of the members getting their stores to like 50, 100K a month, which is awesome. And then we have ESS, which is for people already doing like 30, 50K per month, and then you know they wanna get it to 6, 7 figures per month. Hey, I have a partner, and we're both starting e-commerce. Should we run one store or run separate stores so we can test more products? If you have your like basically your partner has complementary skill sets to yourself, then I would definitely recommend you work them on the same store and the same project. Like, let's say you're good with ads and creatives, and they're good with like operations, maybe hiring people. They're good with people or processes like systems in the business. Then you can join forces, work on the same project. It will be a lot faster, a lot more efficiently. Thanks, Alex, for answering all the questions we got here. We learned a lot. Thank you so much. Nobody. Nobody. There was a very, very cool movie called Nobody recently. Not recently, last year, I think. What's the biggest amount of money your students have made? I mean, our client, Andrew Payne. Andrew Payne, he finished last year, like I think 56 or 57 million in 2023. Marek, one of our clients, like great guy. I love the guy. He's doing about 10 million a month. So obviously these are outliers. These guys are, you know, kind of like they're like above and beyond. They're like top performers. But yeah, we have a bunch of people that got into like 1 million a month. That's pretty at this point it's pretty like standard. Yeah, it's like, you know, 750 a month, like 1 million a month is pretty standard. Alex, thank you, my man. Thank you. All right. Let me wrap it up, guys. I have some work to do. It's been a pleasure here. Thank you, Twitter. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, Instagram. Thank you, Facebook. And I'll see you guys next time. I'll announce these calls so that you can join when they're happening to make sure you don't miss those. And if you have any questions, just DM me. Instagram is the best way. On Instagram, it's Alex Fedotov, 3F at the end. And I'll talk to you guys there. Thank you so much for joining, for listening, for asking questions, amazing questions here. And